This is the AZ Cross Cyclocross race at Crossroads Park in Gilbert, Arizona. Sorry for the quick start on the video there. I think I was probably screwing around with my GoPro when the whistle blew. One difference in this race compared to some of my previous races was I was really making an effort right off the line, and you saw the jet set guy, his name's Chris, attack pretty hard right from the whistle. So my big effort was trying to stay with him. You can see even with that, he's standing up a lot, moving quickly through the corners, I think trying to get some space between himself and me. So he definitely made it pretty difficult to stay with him. So I think I spend a lot of this first lap just trying to get back up to him. Our race was the 5 race, so the beginner category. We were mixed in with some collegiate racers, which you'll see us sort of passing now. I think they started maybe 30 seconds or a minute ahead of us. We were also combined with the mountain bike open category, but you don't see them in this race. They started with us, and again, I think cyclocross a lot of times is who can get off the line first, get the whole shot, I guess, and stay away for the duration of the race. So this course was at a park in Gilbert, Arizona, and I liked it a lot. A lot of grass, a little bit of dirt. There's a spiral, which is kind of hard to explain, but you'll see in a moment here, where you just like turn right over and over and over again and then turn left out of it. It's really cool. But you'll see Chris almost out of every corner stand up, put in a big dig, and get a lot of space. So at this point, I'm already worried, I try to come off the line fast and he still gets all this separation. I think I'm kind of screwed. But we get on these little straightaways. I'm able to put an effort in, get back up to his wheel. But in the back of my head, I'm still thinking, out of every corner, if it's going to be like this, where he's going to get all this space and I'm going to have to hammer out of it, I don't know how long I can do this. This was my second race of the day. I did the 4-5 race probably like an hour and a half before this one, and I really screwed up the start. I mean, I couldn't get clipped in. I think I was messing around with my Garmin, trying to get the right data field to display. And I remember I was like last wheel going into the first few turns, and I thought, oh shit, I totally screwed this up. And I spent the entire race like moving my way up the field, and I think I finished like 4th. So this is the spiral. You'll see we turned right all the way into it. Now we're sort of turning left out of it. I don't really know how it shows up on the GoPro video, but it was really cool, I thought. Just a kind of a cool course feature. You didn't really have to stop pedaling through it. You could kind of pedal through every turn. So it was a good, I think, spot to, get some space on people, keep the effort up, and some other guys would, coast through the turns, and that would cost them some time. So at this point, I've sort of felt like, okay, if I can just stay with him like this for a while, maybe I can try to make a move a little bit later. And you'll see through every corner he's still getting a little bit of space from me. I'm still having to put in an effort out of it just to bridge back up to his wheel. And see, there he goes, standing up again. I thought that was a really good strategy on his part. Not many guys would want to stick with that for very long. And I know it's early in the race, but you're pretty much at your limit, I think, from the go, in every cross race I've done at least. So there's this hill right here, and they called it a run up, but I don't think I saw anybody ever actually run up it. But I think this is the spot where you could really put some hurt in on people, because it got really loose at the top, and your tire would sort of skip or slide out, or spin out, I guess I should say. So at this point, I've gotten on his wheel. It's flat. It almost feels like a road racer or crit, and I'm just on his wheel in the draft, and this is probably where I'm most comfortable, because I've got primarily a road background. You'll notice he stood up. I just sort of stuck with it. We'll go into a couple turns in a moment here with some loose stuff, but at this point I'm thinking, okay, this is manageable, and if I can just stick with him for a little bit, maybe I can find a spot to try to make a move in the course. But I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes from now, 15 minutes from now, sometime late in the race, because again, it's my second race. I'm pretty tired. I'm sort of doing this for the workout. really liked this section. You got a couple grassy downhills, straight into some left turns with some uphills, and you had to, either try to spin up really quickly or even stand up. And it made it really difficult. There was only 2 barriers in the entire course, one right after another, and we'll see them in a minute here. The couple races I've done, barriers weren't too much of a feature, nor were really run-ups. So again, back downhill, gonna make this kind of hairpin left turn, and then, stand up straight out of it, uphill. These repeated efforts they're really taxing. I'm starting to think it's going to be really good for race season, especially for crits. Coming out of every corner like 500 watts, 600 watts, and being able just to stick with that kind of effort. So yeah, here's the 2 barriers right after a turn, so you have to sort of dismount right before you even get to it, and then back up on your bike really quickly. So I think one thing that helped me in sticking with Chris is, you'll notice, right, we've got some of the other racers out there on the course. We had to sort of pass them, right? They started maybe 30 seconds or a minute or something like that ahead of us, and that created spots in which he sort of had to slow down. So maybe a little bit unfortunate for him, but I was definitely thankful for it. Yeah, a lot of loose stuff through here. It probably doesn't look like it on the video, but you saw him sort of dab his foot there. It was trickier than it looked. It always felt like your rear tire was at risk of just, sliding out if you took it too fast. So I'm going to try to get back up on his wheel here, and then we're going to come up to the start line in just a moment. Yeah. So at this point, I'm tired, but I'm feeling relatively good. I've stuck with Chris. And for me, it's like, let's see what kind of pace he's going to keep through the rest of this, or at least through this lap. And we'll see if I feel good enough to try to make a move. But you'll notice even like coming through these where he had a big gap before, I'm starting to stay with him a little bit more. I don't know if that's because I'm getting a little bit smoother, or he's getting a little bit more tired, or, just whatever circumstance it is. But I'm trying to stay with him as closely as I can while not, expending too much energy. So I really, really, really liked all of these, downhills straight back into uphills. It sort of forced you to pedal through corners and come out strong. And there goes Chris again. He's standing up. I don't know if he's trying to get like separation from me, or he's just trying to put in a big effort just to do it. But you'll notice there you go, standing up again. Now coming up here, we've got this really sharp right turn. You have to slow down I think so much just to get around it, and then a big long straightaway. And I really liked this because, it forces everybody to slow down. And then the straightaway, it's like I can open it up because that's probably what I'm better at. So I'm on his wheel here, and I'm thinking, I feel okay, a lot less tired than I thought I'd be. Let me see what I can do. And I put in a big effort. And I think if I can just get, 5 seconds on this guy, I'll be good. In the shadow, you sort of see me look back. And what's funny is, as I'm looking back, I realize he's right on my wheel. And I thought, shit, now this whole plan I had of stick with him for a while and then do something, I've screwed it up, because now he's just going to do that to me. So I try to keep the effort up, but he's on my wheel, and I'm thinking, eventually he's going to make a move and I'm going to be too tired, and that's going to be all she wrote. So all I can do is, just stick with the efforts, keep the pace up, and hope that doesn't happen. But this entire time, he's right there. So my best hope at this point is, we race together, and then, it comes down to a last lap move, and I'm hoping I can either stick with it or, feel good enough that I can make it myself, or, throughout the rest of the race, just keep the effort high but low enough that it's manageable and sort of fakes him out. But, at this point I am pretty concerned that I went a little bit too early and not strong enough, or not strongly enough. So these little kind of twisties around the trees were pretty cool. You definitely could take them, I don't know about fast, but, smoothly, and then hammer out of them. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, Chris is on my wheel. I've got to figure something out. I can try, like I said, keeping the effort up and making sure he just stays with me, but, doesn't make a move too early. Or I can try something else in a minute here. And what I try to do is I shift my gears so I can just spin up this hill, knowing that it's pretty lucid at the top. Almost treat it like a mountain bike hill, right? Just spin as quickly as I can so I don't lose traction. And I get up, I think, faster than I had, at any other point in either of the two races. I come out of it and I think, okay, I actually have a little bit of a gap here, maybe 2 or 3 seconds. If I can just put the hammer down, can I stay away from him? So, I try to get it up to like 20 or 21. I think if I got to do that, then for him to bridge up, he's probably got to do 22 or 23, and that sucks, right? It's not easy when you're really tired. So I'm trying to go as fast as I can, within reason, and see if I can get more separation. So, spoiler alert, I did, and I was able to stay away for the rest of the race. So I'll just give it away now. I actually won this race. It still was pretty difficult at times, and I certainly learned a lot, but, I think I planned or, executed on a plan a little bit better in this one than I have in any other cross race, right? I tried to stay with the lead guy right off the line. I put myself in a position to make a move, even though I thought I either screwed it up or went a little bit too early. I was still able to do it. You'll notice right there, I sort of dabbed my foot because I was sliding out, coming uphill out of that corner. And I got really nervous that Chris was going to be able to bridge up, right? He's still only 6 or 7 seconds behind. And if I screw something up and lose 3 or 4 of those, I'm screwed. But luckily, I was able to sort of recover. He did not bridge up. And at this point, I'm just trying to hammer out of every turn, get a few more seconds. And again, like I said, I was able to do that. So I think by the end of the race, I finished, 30 or 40 seconds up on him. He was probably, I think, the same up on the guy that finished third. So all in all, a pretty successful day. I think in addition to, coming out quickly, one thing I learned, or at least got a little bit better at, was taking some of these corners at speed. Again, it's a lot different than riding pavement, right? It's, you risk sliding out. I think a lot of it has to do with sort of your balance over your bike as you're going through those corners, and then, trying to pedal through as much as you can just to keep the traction down. But I still had a little bit of difficulty with some of the looser dirt stuff, right? Grass, I think I was a lot more comfortable on. I'd hit these dirt patches, and you'll probably see kind of slowing down to a crawl because you feel like you're just at that point of being able to slide out. So as I slowed down there almost to a stop, I kept checking my shoulder, trying to figure out where Chris was. We'll come up on the line here in just a moment. I won't make you watch the entire rest of the race. Again, it's just going to be me riding alone for, 15 more minutes. So learned a lot, won the race, very happy with that. Chris rode strong, guy's a beast, was happy to have a good result. Thanks for watching.